Alrighty, so today I am going to be watercolor painting for the first time in a month. I have not watercolor painted in a decent amount of time, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And honestly, I've been missing it, but I just haven't had the opportunity to do it because I've been out of the country for the last little bit. But today I certainly am very excited to get back to it, that is for sure. I think today I'm just gonna watercolor paint something really simple. I'm thinking a fish. I really like drawing fish. I really like watercolor painting fish. I really like acrylic painting fish. So I figure that's what I'm gonna watercolor paint in today's video, and I most certainly am looking forward to it, that is for sure. I think though, first off, before I go ahead and actually start watercoloring, I am indeed going to just draw the fish with my Pencil Graph Gear mechanical pencil. Then after I watercolor paint the fish with my Winsor & Newton mobile watercolor set I have right here, I am then going to go ahead and do the outline of the fish with my Uniball Signo UM153 pen, which you can see right here. The brushes I'm going to be using today are some very cheap, what are these again? Creative Mark Fundamentals brushes. These are like the cheapest brushes I could get, and they work just fine for the job. Honestly, I have no clue whether they're acrylic brushes or watercolor brushes, but they work just fine in all honesty. I do think without further ado though, let's go ahead and get right to sketching the fish itself. Do I want the fish to be big? Do I want the fish to be small? How do I want it to look? I don't know. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? What am I thinking? What am I thinking? I'm thinking I kind of want to make the fish semi-big, but I don't want it to like take up the whole page. And I kind of want it to be censored. Censored? I don't need to censor a fish. I want it to be centered. So I'm thinking I'm just going to draw kind of a standard fish. Nothing really too special. Today, I kind of just want to do something basic. In all honesty, I really have no desire to really make anything super special today. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. So let's just have that come back like that. Let's have this fish be a thicky boy, you know what I'm saying? Just like that, you know what I'm saying? And let's go ahead, and I do kind of want that to be a little bit more straight up and down, so I'm going to grab my Tombow Mono Knock 3.8 eraser, and I'm just going to go ahead and fix all of this right here real quick, because I do want it to be more straight up and down. I'm very happy with how the back of the fish turned out, but not so happy with how the top of the fish turned out, and I might want to make the mouth a little bit bigger as well. Not exactly sure. This fish right now, that was kind of looking like Humpty Dumpty, I ain't going to lie, y'all. You really do just be kind of looking like Humpty Dumpty, but I mean, like, hey, what can I say? You know what I'm saying? Humpty Dumpty, he's an artistic inspiration. And there we go. That's much better. And this little sort of like a crease in the fish, I definitely have to say, that's just personality. You know what I'm saying? That's just personality. Now, I definitely do want the tail to be like really big, though. I really want the tail to be like massive kind of thing. Just like that kind of thing. Just like that. Now, I'm pretty happy with that. I do kind of want the tail coming up from the back to be just a little bit more straight up and down kind of thing. I feel like it's kind of at a little bit of too much of an angle. It doesn't really match the bottom super well. And so I kind of want it to be a little bit more straight up and down, kind of more like that, I'm thinking. And then come back down just like that, and lines right back up. There we go. Much more happy with that. Now I'm going to go ahead and do an eye. I really want to do like a super big eye for this fish, and then a smaller eye over here. And then I'm thinking I'm going to have some medium-sized teeth today. Nothing too big, nothing too small, just some medium-sized teeth. Nothing extreme today, you know what I'm saying? And there we go. And there we go. All right, I'm pretty happy with it. Now I'm going to go ahead and do some fins. So I'm going to go ahead and do one fin right here. I kind of want the fins to be kind of medium-sized as well, but I do want like a bunch of them. And so I think I'm going to leave it like that. I think that should be all good. And I think that is the fish all ready to watercolor paint. Now, what color do I want to watercolor paint this fish? That really is the real question. I really enjoy just watercoloring, honestly, in black. I know it is kind of funny to be like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to use this really interesting medium that you can make really interesting colors with, and then it's just like, okay, I'm gonna watercolor paint in black. I really do like how watercolor painting in black looks though, but I am kind of thinking I might not want to do that today. I do kind of want to do like a different color, but also I kind of want to watercolor paint in black. I do really like watercolor painting in black, I ain't gonna lie. Do I want to watercolor paint in black? Let me just open this up real quick and just see what other colors there are. There's orange, red, I could do yellow. I don't really want to do yellow or blue. I mean, like, I could do blue. I wouldn't mind doing blue. I don't know. I'm just not really feeling it today, though. I'm just not really feeling it today. Kind of just don't want to do black. But also, I'm kind of like, oh, blue, now that I'm thinking about it. That's hard. That's hard. I think I should watercolor paint it in white. What do you guys think? Watercolor paint it in white. I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. Man, this is a hard decision, y'all. This is a hard decision. I'm thinking I want to watercolor paint in... You know what? I'm just going to commit to watercolor painting in black. I like watercolor painting in black, and so I'm going to do it. And nothing is going to stop me. Let's go ahead. I think I'm going to use this brush and this brush today, I think. I think those are going to be the plan. I think that's going to be the plan. This is the Creative Fundamentals 3/4 wash. And this is the Creative Fundamentals 6 shader. Don't know what either of those really mean. I assume 3/4 means 3/4 of an inch, but I don't know what 6 shader means. But I think I'm just going to be using these two brushes today. Maybe actually I'll just use this one brush right here. I kind of want to keep the like brush stroke kind of consistent and everything like that kind of thing. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. And I do think I'm going to do wet on dry. I don't think I'm going to do... I've been doing a lot of wet on wet before. I didn't watercolor paint for a month. I was doing a lot of wet on wet. I think I'm going to do wet on dry today. Kind of want to switch it up and kind of do watercolor painting a little bit wrong today, because I'm like wet on dry. I'm like, you can do it kind of thing, but it's wet on wet that I feel like most people really go for. Is that enough water? I think a little bit more. There we go. Let's go ahead and move that back. Take a sip of water myself, you know what I'm saying? And now let's go ahead and get right to watercolor painting. So I'm going to go ahead and get the brush pretty wet. I'm going to go ahead and get a bunch of black on there, and I'm just going to go ahead and start layering it on right at the top, right up here, I think. And that is going to be the plan. I'm going to try to leave the eyes as white as possible. I don't want to get anything in the eyes, and same with the teeth. I want to leave the teeth as white as possible. I don't want to get anything in the teeth either, which I'm already messing up, but that is okay. It is what it is, I do suppose. And let's just keep going over it until it's all black and everything like that kind of thing. That's pretty much the plan. Nothing really too complex going on today. Just kind of going over this until it's all done. I don't really want it to be like super dark or anything. I'm pretty happy with like a light gray or a dark gray kind of thing. Doesn't really matter to me, in all honesty. I'm pretty happy either way, but I do just want to only use this one singular color when I am watercolor painting today. There we go. And let's just go ahead and try to smooth those lines out just so it doesn't look too much like I used a different brush angle. I should have been a little bit more careful with that. I said I was trying to do, what is it, wet on dry today, and then this is all wet, so I'm now doing wet on wet as well. It is what it is. I don't really care about, like, I do suppose, like, how this looks too much kind of thing. Like, of course I want it to look good, but I do think it kind of being a little bit messed up gives it a somewhat interesting look, and that's a look that I don't really mind at all, in all honesty. But I do just need to remember now to stop stop putting the color down near area which is already wet. That is something I need to remember to do. Or not to do, I suppose. And there we go. And I'm definitely thinking the fish is going to need another layer after I am all done, just kind of going over it and whatnot. But that is well within what I plan for. I typically like to do not just one layer, I like to do two, or if not 3 or 4. And I think I'm probably just going to do 2 today. I don't really think I care to do more than 2 layers on this fish. I think it'll be fine. I don't really want the fish to be super dark by any means, so I think 2 layers should be just fine, just to kind of cover up any areas I don't like and whatnot. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish this off, and then I'm going to go ahead and try to start working on the teeth. And there goes my watercolor set. It just decided to close on itself. It does that. It's very annoying. It is what it is, though. Let's go ahead and just finish working on this side. Get all of that white space all out. And I think I'm going to work on the tail in just a minute. But I really like the whole sort of brushed look that I've got going on today. It's not a look I really get super often anymore because I am doing more wet on wet stuff, but I really am liking the sort of brushed look I have going on today. It's a look I really like, and it's a look that I haven't really achieved in the last little bit. So I am pretty happy with it. I ain't gonna lie. And honestly, I mean, like, I know I said I wanted to do 2 layers, but depending on how this fish turns out, just like this, I might just have to do just the 1 layer in all honesty, and just do some correctional areas and whatnot. Let's see. I want it to stay like that, but then if I do that, okay, that's gonna make it. Watercolor set is so frustrating. Move my coaster over here. There we go. That should help. Now it's not going to fall over. Bet. All right, that's actually very helpful. Nice. And I forgot to bring. Oh, I do have paper towels up here. I was about to say I forgot paper towels, but no, I actually do have paper towels. And actually, I am going to. I just got black on that, but I'm gonna grab a paper towel because I want the brush to be that wet. I want it to be a little bit drier, you know what I'm saying? Let's see. There we go, just like that, I'm thinking. Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted, because I just want to do all the detailed areas between the teeth now. All right, there we go. I am going to go over that in just a moment, though. Alrighty, and now I think it's time to do the tail. So I think I'm going to start down here, and I'm just going to work my way up. I don't really care if I go over the lines here or not, it's the tail. There we go. There we go. All right, cool. I don't think the fish is quite done. I definitely want to darken up a little bit of this area up here and a little bit down here as well, and some of parts of the tail. But I think overall, more so than not, it is done. And so I'm just going to go ahead and start adding the final touches. To the watercolor portion, that is, because I'm not done completely with the drawing, of course. I still need to go over it with pen and whatnot, but for the watercolor portion, it is mostly done. Alrighty, and now I think it's time for the final touches on the tail as well. Alrighty. Well, overall, I don't think it's my best watercolor painting ever, but I definitely think it's better than not, and I am overall more so happy with it than not, and it definitely is not a good example of how to watercolor paint properly, that is for damn sure, but certainly no complaints on my behalf. I definitely am more happy with this watercolor painting than not, and I do think without further ado, it is now time for me to go ahead and start going over all of the lines with my Uniboss Signo UM153. Let's see how this pen reacts to watercolor paint and slightly damp surfaces, because I've never used this to do outline lines for a watercolor painting before. I'm going to wait for the tail. I'm going to wait to do the tail until last, because it's the area I touched last. But I think I'm going to go ahead and just put this upside down, make sure I'm still on screen. And now I'm just going to go ahead and start doing the front of the fish real quick. And I might do another layer of the black. I'm not exactly sure of the pen. I'm not exactly sure if how much the pen is going to fade today. So we'll just have to wait and see how much it fades, and then I'll decide then. But I'm basically just going to go over all of the lines and just fix everything up that I want to fix up, kind of thing. Because there definitely are some areas of the watercolor painting as well that I definitely do feel like could be a little bit darker, but I don't think I could get them any darker or as dark as I want with watercolor paint. So I'm going to do that instead with my, well, pen. Let's just go ahead and go over like this. And I'm going to try to be very careful, because this ink does smear pretty easily, so I'm trying to be really careful with not touching where I already put some of the ink down with my hand, which is something I'm not very good at, but let's see if I can achieve it today. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just do all of the teeth now. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but this is the angle I'm going about getting this line done. Just to make sure it turns out the way I want. And let's go and start working on the tail now. So far, so good, though. This new pen I'm using is working better than I was hoping. I was afraid that it was going to kind of splotch and smear, but I also think it helps that the page right now is not really all that wet kind of thing. Since I was doing wet on dry, the page never really got fully soaked or anything like that kind of thing, so it dried pretty quickly. And so it's not really something I need to worry about with the splotching and everything like that unless I really hit a particularly wet patch, which there are none of on this watercolor painting because I kind of just try to dry it all out pretty quick with my brush as well. But you know, overall, it's definitely working pretty well. I definitely do not think that this pen would work very well for doing what I'm doing right now if the page is wet, but also what pen would work well for that. So, and I'm not sure if honestly any of the areas really need a second layer from this pen. I think some of the areas I do think I'm gonna actually do a second layer. I'm used to doing a second layer. I was about to say I don't think I'm gonna do a second layer, but I do think I'm actually gonna do a second layer in all honesty. Excuse me. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a second layer on the tail first because that's what I was already working on. And I'm going to go ahead and start adding all of the details that I wanted to add to the fish with my pen after that. For example, I want to darken up the tail a little bit. Just like that. And let's go and do a second layer on this line right here as well. I like to darken up all of like the areas with like angles and whatnot. I just feel like it looks really good. And so that's exactly what I'm doing now. Just like that. And let's go ahead and darken this area up as well. Just a little bit, not too much. And there we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and flip this back over again. And I'm going to go ahead and start working on the front of the fish again now. Pretty happy with how this is turning out, though, I ain't gonna lie. I know I'm not talking too much. I'm just kind of concentrating. And I do kind of want some food, so I think I might go get some. I think I might go eat a Kind Bar, go for a walk or something like that after this, kind of wake myself up a little bit. But overall, no, I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, you know what I'm saying? And there is one thing that I cannot forget to do. I need to still do the fins. Haven't done those yet. So I think that's everything I wanted to do right here. I think that's all of the second layers I wanted to do. So let's go ahead and start working on the fins. That's the last thing I need to do for this drawing. I need to do one layer, and then I need to do a second layer, and then I need to darken them up a little bit, like darken up the tips of them. And then that's all I need to do for this watercolor painting right here. I am overall definitely very happy with how this is turning out so far, but I definitely still need to stand up and actually take a look at it because I have not stood up to take a look at it yet. So let's just go and darken those up a little bit. Just darken up the tips a little bit. And let's just go and do a second layer as well. just like that. Oh, whoopsies, I hit my keyboard. Oh, man. Well, there we go. What do I think about this drawing right here? Am I happy with it? What do I think about this watercolor painting right here, to be exact? Am I happy with it? Am I not? Excuse me, I just burped. I am overall definitely a lot more happy with how this turned out than not. In fact, I'm actually very happy with how this turned out. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. I do hope that y'all have enjoyed watching this video, that is for sure. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. If you guys enjoyed this video where I watercolor painted for the first time in a month, do I think I've lost any of my skill? I do apologize. I'm kind of out of it right now, y'all. What was I supposed to say? I feel like I'm forgetting to say something. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I watercolor painted for the first time in a month. Do I feel like I've lost any of my skill that I gained after practicing for like a month and a half, 2 months? Not really, in all honesty. I still feel like I have it down. I don't really feel like, once you know the concept and you kind of know how to watercolor paint, I don't really feel like it's something you really lose, per se, and I don't feel like I've lost any of my skill with this. I kind of purposefully chose to not really make it the greatest watercolor painting in the world, but it wasn't really my goal to make it the greatest watercolor painting in the world. I wanted it to be an interesting looking fish, and I do feel like I have achieved that, that is for sure. But if you guys enjoyed watching this video where I watercolor painted for the first time in a month, of course, please make sure to, like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my main channel all in the description down below. Go check it all out, or else. Thank you very much for watching, y'all. To the next one. Stay safe and peace and have a great one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying?